President Trump delivered his State of the Union address before Congress on the evening of the 24th, with the speech lasting nearly 1 hour and 50 minutes, the longest ever. According to statistics, the topics he spent the most time on were national security, immigration, and the border.
We're also restoring American security and dominance in the Western Hemisphere, acting to secure our national interests and defend our country from violence, drugs, terrorism, and foreign interference. And with our new military campaign, we have stopped record amounts of drugs coming into our country and virtually stopped it completely coming in by water or sea.
Trump said the flow of deadly fentanyl across the border has been down by a record 56% in just 1 year. In the Caribbean Sea and the Eastern Pacific, U.S. operations against drug trafficking have shifted significantly. The focus has moved from interdiction and arrest to armed strikes and destruction. And under the U.S. military's Joint Task Force, Operation Southern Spear, more than 40 strike operations have been conducted in the region so far in 2026, including 8 in February alone. The second longest portion of President Trump's address focused on the economy, jobs, inflation, and tariffs.
I used these tariffs, took in hundreds of billions of dollars to make great deals for our country, both economically and on a national security basis. Everything was working well. Countries that were ripping us off for decades are now paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. And then just 4 days ago, an unfortunate ruling from the United States Supreme Court. It just came down. It came down. Very unfortunate ruling. But the good news is that almost all countries and corporations want to keep the deal that they already made, right, Scott? Knowing that the legal power that I, as president, have to make a new deal could be far worse for them, and therefore they will continue to work along the same successful path that we had negotiated before the Supreme Court's unfortunate involvement.
While the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the power to impose tariffs rests with Congress, President Trump believes that existing laws and regulations are sufficient. He remains confident he can advance his tariff policies without going through Congress. And during the State of the Union address, President Trump barely mentioned China. Key issues in U.S.-China trade talks, including soybeans, semiconductors, and nuclear weapons development, were not addressed. China came up only in passing when he talked about U.S. forces capturing Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro.
Maduro's heavily protected military fortress. This was a major military installation protected by thousands of soldiers and guarded by Russian and Chinese military technology. How did that work out? Not too good.
While the president didn't mention Beijing, House Speaker Mike Johnson invited Claire Lai, daughter of Hong Kong media tycoon Jimmy Lai, to the State of the Union as a distinguished guest. The move sends a strong signal regarding Beijing's human rights violations. New polling data following President Trump's State of the Union address show nearly 2/3 of viewers walked away with a positive impression. According to a CNN SSRS survey, 64% of respondents believe the president's policies are steering the country in the right direction. When it comes to the president's agenda, 54% say they agree with his top priorities. And on the everyday issue of the economy, 60% express confidence in his ability to tackle the rising cost of living. However, 45% feel Trump isn't paying enough attention to economic issues and the rising cost of living.